Hey everybody, this is Squirrel with Easy Tarot Lessons. I've got Sally with me today. Hello, Sally.
Hi, Squirrel.
We're going to do the Three of Wands today. This is the third in a series of 78 for card meanings. I do want to point out that we are not giving traditional meanings per se, and we are not to be set in stone. These are what we feel about these cards at this moment, and they are guidelines to help you understand the tarot.
Well said. Yay.
So we've got the Three of Wands, and I'm looking at him right now. Sally, what are your thoughts on him?
Right now he's looking out over things that he's already let go. It's now out of his hands. Whatever plans he had are in motion. Whatever you sent out, it's on its way. It also looks like he may have missed the boat. you
I
know, if he,
know, right? Like,
if he had gone up and he wanted a ride, he missed it. He's gone.
like, oh man, they're gone.
Yeah,
Let me
right.
let me point out, a lot of people don't realize this because of the coloration, but that is an ocean he's looking out over. There are three boats in the water. You have to look. There's one right at the very right-hand side of the stick he's holding, one to the very left of that stick he's holding, and one to the left of the stick on the left. Those are boats. This is water. Um, the sun is setting, correct?
That's how I see it. That's the feeling I get when I look at this card. We've
And
got the mountains turning purple in the background. Uh, the sun's bouncing off the water. Yeah, so that's the feeling I get.
so this could be a good card for the West Coast.
The west coast of anything. It could be the west
Yeah.
coast of Florida, or let's see, is it the east coast of the British Isles? I yeah, I think it is. The east coast of the British Isles, the west coast of the United States, the west coast of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
any place like that.
so if I asked you where should I go to on a vacation?
Follow the setting sun.
Go to the ocean. But I did want to point that out because a lot of people don't realize that that's water.
hmm Yeah, otherwise you would have what, boats on the sand and sand boats. Those are camels, aren't they?
I'll never see camels the same way.
That's why you practice with me. Sheesh.
So there's a lot going on in this card. I love the way that you said that he could have missed the boat.
Yeah,
That could definitely be he has set his plans in motion and now he's got a period of time to wait.
right. That's what I'm seeing with this as well. I'm a little I I'm staring at these three wands that are sticking out of the ground, and that ground doesn't look particularly fertile.
Right.
So I'm wondering, about the viability of those crops. Is he actually going to get anything back from whatever he sent out? Because he didn't exactly plant his three wands in a solid, a fertile place. And, their sprouts, they really haven't taken off yet. So, I have some question about whether or not he will actually see anything come back from whatever venture he sent those boats out on.
That's a good point. That doesn't look fertile at all.
Not to me.
And the way his head is tilted, right now it really does look like he's a little bit insecure. I love his rich clothes and everything, but money doesn't always amount to security.
Yeah, his head does have that I'm questioning what's going on tilt, doesn't it?
Ah,
Never
his
thought,
boat's gonna
never saw
come
that before.
back.
Yeah. And I'm sitting here probably because I have a blown up version of this card in front of me right now. I've never before focused on his shoes. Right now, they look like shoes from Dr. Seuss to me, and I'm really wondering what that is telling me. But they're in the one I'm staring at, they look almost purple. They look like Dr. Seuss feet.
They do. They got, almost like he's got an armored foot, but it's leather
Yeah.
because it's got that little hump.
Yes. Yes. Very
Very
weird.
odd. And I never noticed before that you're gonna laugh at me because I never noticed this. He's wearing a crown.
Yeah, he does have a circlet over his on his head, and I never really thought of that as a crown before, but you're absolutely right. So there could be a king, and he has put all of his hopes into those three ships, and he's hoping they pan out because everything he has is out at sea.
I'd say Christopher Columbus again, but I think it was a queen who sent him.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Like, are we ever gonna see this wazoo again?
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this idea is harebrained and nothing's going to come back.
Yeah, so he set everything in motion, I believe, but he
Hmm.
has doubts. He has fears. He's not sure he's ever going to see it come to fruition.
Yeah, yeah. And, it could be one of those situations that it may come to fruition after he's gone. He may
Oh,
not see the end of this story.
wow. He's a lot more bleak than I had ever seen him previously today.
Same here. Same here. It's always different. Every time I pull these out, I see something different. There's a different flavor to it.
And why
Similar.
is that? Why is that?
That's a good question. Maybe there are just things speaking to me at this moment that pull out those images because, your intuition doesn't stop and start. It's always there.
Hmm.
And we spend so much time tuned into these cards that they are always speaking to us. It doesn't matter if there's a question sitting in front of us or a client sitting in front of us.
Or
It's
a
just,
card sitting in front of
right,
us.
right? I have dreamt the suit of asparagus. I'm putting that out there for the world. So if you're ever playing cards with me and I say I have the suit of asparagus, I have nothing in my hand because I have everything in my hand.
Yeah, so many cards, or so many times I'll look at something and the card will just pop up in my head. Hello.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you see it in all kinds of places and situations, and I think that's the key because you don't hammer the tarot to fit life. Life speaks through the tarot, and everything in the world around you has to come through these cards. So if you only have like 5 or 6 meanings, imagine what your vocabulary is like. You're just basically grunting at the universe. But yeah, the more that comes through these cards, the more eloquent your dialogue with the universe is.
Yeah. And it's going to speak to you. How do I explain this? When you get a card, when you're doing a reading, it's not just going to be a random jumble of everything you've ever seen in that card. One piece of the card will jump out at you. The universe puts it there in that position at that time for you to see that specific thing. And if you know your cards and you've been exercising the intuition, that one particular thing will jump out at you. Like, take for example, I've never seen the circlet on his head.
Right.
At that moment, it jumped out at me. And
Mm-hmm.
you're going to know what the universe is trying to tell you. You're going to know the answer. You just
Mm-hmm.
got to trust it.
Mm-hmm.
Open your mouth
Absolutely.
and speak.
What I find interesting and what you said so well is not everything in the card is going to matter all the time. You don't have to go into these cards in every reading and pull out every single detail in the card and that every single detail is going to pertain to your reading.
Right.
Like you said, the universe is going to point you toward one thing or two things, maybe three things.
And I'm glad you said that. I am so glad you said that because a lot of people say that you have to know numerology or you have to know astrology or you have to know the Kabbalah. And these things are good to know if there's something that you wish to know. But the universe knows what you know. It
Hmm.
knows how you think. It knows each and every one of us intimately. And it's going to speak to us in the language that we are familiar with and that our clients are familiar with. Because I tell you right now, if I give a client the answer, check your inner chakra or your third eye or this or that, and they don't know what I'm talking about, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Right, right.
So You don't have to know all of this starting out. It clouds your ability to use your intuition. If you want to pursue it later, great, pursue it, but don't force it into your readings. Don't force it into your clients,
Hmm.
because the universe does seriously know who it's speaking to.
Hmm. Well said.
All right. So he doesn't speak to me quite as much as the Two of Wands speaks to me, but he did have a lot to say today.
Yeah, I think part of it, is his body position. Sometimes that may make a difference in the reading. You're just staring at the back of this person, so it could be somebody just showing you his back.
Mm-hmm.
They're not concerned with you. They're not focused on you. They are focused elsewhere, and
Um,
that in and of itself could be the meaning.
and even the position of those sticks with that, what you just said, is kind of like an obstruction.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a barrier, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, there is.
Nicely done.
Wow. So again, not everything we are saying is set in stone. This is what we are seeing at this moment. Open your mind, talk to your cards, play with them, get to know them, and the answers will come to you. All right, Sally, I think we've wrapped him up pretty nicely.
Thanks for today. This was wonderful.
Oh, I really enjoyed this. I appreciate you doing this with me. I will see you next time. I'm keeping you.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.